Beijing's decision to ban cryptocurrency mining in September 2021 looked to be the end for an industry where China led the world. Not so, it seems, as companies running the power-hungry computers used in mining are finding ways to evade the authorities. I still have over 20 mining machines scattered in 5 rural locations across China, one Chinese crypto miner told Forecast in a Telegram call. He requested to use the pseudonym Li to discuss his activities and declined to disclose the location of his operations. Li said he started mining in 2017 and later set up a Bitcoin mining company with a few partners, and when China cracked down last year, they moved the company's machines to the US and Canada. However, he kept his own equipment and runs it in rural areas to avoid the authorities. Bitcoin mining is a metaphor for the use of networks of computers to verify transactions on the blockchain, for which miners receive Bitcoin. Besides income from the mining itself, the industry generates other substantial revenue streams, such as sales of the high-end computers used, known as rigs. Metalubin, the largest Bitcoin mining rig repair company in China, sold about $1.5 billion worth of rigs last year and plans to sell another $1 billion this year, said Metalubin CEO Mark Zhao in an interview. The company lists annual revenue of $2 billion on its website. Zhao told Forecast that around 80% of his clients are from China, but like Li, they're mostly looking to move their company machines to North America, Central Asia, and Africa. Hash tracks. However, other evidence points to Bitcoin mining continuing in China. The so-called Bitcoin hash rate is a measure of the computational power being used by the network and can often be identified geographically. China's Bitcoin hash rate share plummeted after the crypto crackdown first began in May 2021, but it surged right up again in September, suggesting significant underground mining activity had formed in the country, according to the Cambridge Center for Alternative Finance, CCAF. In January this year, China controlled 21.1% of the global Bitcoin hash rate to become the second largest Bitcoin producer, trailing only 37.8% in the US, the CCAF said. The People's Bank of China is one vocal opponent to cryptocurrencies, arguing that they create economic instability and facilitate financial crime. Other commentators have said the central bank is more worried about crypto encouraging capital flight from China and posing a threat to plans to launch a digital currency of its own that it will control. Another argument against the miners is the computers they use consume enormous amounts of electricity, and as this is generated mostly by fossil fuels in China, it undermines the country's carbon neutrality goals. Miners have pushed back that they often use surplus electricity generated by renewable energy sources. Chinese authorities have taken various approaches to identify and bust hidden mining operations. They have looked at unusual electricity consumption and computer IP addresses associated with mining pools to locate mining farms. Cat and mouse. But such measures have their limits. When the ban first came out, I was extremely nervous, Li said, but after discussing with some other industry players, I decided to move my machines out from large mining farms. He said, adding that it took him less than a month to settle his rigs in new locations in rural areas. One way for us individual miners to continue mining in the dark is to find houses in rural areas and put up a few rigs in a single household to keep the power consumption within a certain range, Li said. It's just like home mining. To stay below the government's radar, Li said he uses virtual private networks, a means to keep his rigs connected to the internet, while obscuring his location from the authorities. Li said some miners still operate in factories such as metal processors and buy excessive electricity consumption from the plants. Many machines are still in operation, mostly in southwest and northwest China, he added. Of course, I still have concerns, but it's very unlikely for all my rigs to get busted, Li said. Gustavo A. De La Torre, an operations and marketing manager at Bitcoin mining pool BTC.com, told Forecast that he's happy to see Chinese miners still flourishing under a governmental ban. De La Torre said that BTC.com doesn't require users to submit Know Your Customer information, giving access to miners regardless of their geographical status. An official at the overseas Bitcoin mining company who declined to be identified to discuss the situation in China told Forecast that they still work with Chinese miners. The ban is circumvented through various techniques by both the miner and the mining pool, the official said. Some of these techniques include transport layer security from miner to pool. Others include private proxies, with encryption technology created by the mining pool development teams. It's a cat and mouse game. When something is found to be no longer useful, they go on and update it or change it. The official said, adding that mining bans just don't work, as many would risk possible prosecution to continue confirming transactions, building blocks, and securing the network for the reward of Bitcoin. Heading offshore. While some crypto mining operations have gone underground in China, many other companies are relocating their machines overseas. Mark Zhao, the head of Metalubin, said he has about 100 engineers at repair centers in southwest China's Sichuan province and the southeastern city of Shenzhen. And also that they handle about 20,000 mining rigs a month, but most of the equipment is destined for other countries, he said. The Chinese mining projects we know, including ourselves, are mining overseas, Zhao said. Zhao said miners relocating to North America want new higher-end machines, while those going to Central Asia nations such as Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan would prefer second-hand rigs. Trading favors. Bitcoin miner Li said China's business practice of guangxi, the culture of trading favors and leveraging relationships, plays a part when it comes to local governments busting mining projects. My first reaction when I learned about the ban was that this would all be about playing guanxi. Li said, whoever has better guanxi or stronger networks could stay. Li said that before the mining ban kicked in, many local governments worked with miners to earn extra money that would go into government coffers. Was removed from office and expelled from the Communist Party after he was accused of abusing his power to support crypto mining activities. In March, the country's anti-graft watchdog warned that authorities are keeping a close eye on possible corruption behind underground crypto mining. It noted that some public servants use state resources to mine crypto. Chinese regulators tend to first take a one-size-fits-all approach when they rein in an emerging sector, and subsequently make adjustments to relax certain rules, Li said. Generally, I'm not as pessimistic about the outlook of the industry as how the media have depicted, Li added. It's impossible to ban all operations.